one of the most undeveloped, they call it one of the last megalithic cultures left in the world. So it feels like you're just stepping back in time.
Yeah, so it started as a surf trip essentially, and one of our friends introduced us to the island. And then from the first time that Jess and I actually came to Sumba, we moved here. So we hadn't had the opportunity to experience it. We didn't really know what we're getting into. And it was almost complete ignorance which caused us to build a hotel. We didn't have plans of building a hotel. We came out here as a lifestyle change, and then trying to develop something, and then Alamayah is the result. Yeah, and I came from a commercial construction background, and probably hence the design a little bit, to be honest. I mean, Jess and I worked very closely, architect, builder, to build Alamayah, and what we would discuss most nights is Jess had come up with a concept, and we would discuss, firstly, if I'm able to achieve it.
How do we do this in Sumba?
What materials can we get?
Yeah.
I mean, we worked very closely with that. Like she would give me the concept, I would say, no, we can't do that. I couldn't achieve that kind of design, or I can't do that kind of span with hand mixed concrete or whatever it was.
Yeah. And some things definitely didn't happen overnight. Like we would be bouncing ideas off each other and brainstorming for, some things would go back and forth for a month before we even start building it. Like find a solution. And
we can say it's completely built and operated by local Sumbanese people, and that's
special.
Yeah, it's very special for us.
Yeah, that's what we're very passionate about.
Just everyone within the community would come in and join on pour day.
Yeah.
And like some of the pour days were, over 18 hours. And from start until the end, they just had this great morale, and like I would try and keep it up as much as possible. But it wasn't just construction workers. Yeah, it was
everyone, the whole community, the village.
It took a whole village to build this. Yeah. So our workers didn't have scooters, they rode to work on horses. We were pretty quickly immersed within the local ceremonies and villages, and that all came from having local workers and then them introducing us into their community and into their family. I mean, we have learned so much from coming here, and as I said, we've tried to provide education to the locals, but in terms of the knowledge that we've gained is to an amazing level for me. I mean, in terms of people management, in terms of discipline, in terms of tolerance, there was so many times where we would walk around, and because they were only learning, they might do something completely wrong, but that might entail demolishing a whole concrete wall. And I would walk around and say, have we checked that it's already level? And I'll say, not yet, boss. And the wall's on an angle like this, and I'll say, that's okay, so let's pull it down. And then the next time we build it, let's build it straight. And I would show them how to build it straight. And I would go through and do the loops again and come back.
Sometimes this might happen 4 times, 5 times.
I honestly think this building has been built 3 to 4 times. But what it did teach me, like you actually comment quite often now, that like I'm a lot more tolerant of those kinds of things. I can take a deep breath and actually think of the solution. Where but it's a lot easier to say now. At the time, you can imagine the frustration.
On my behalf, there's a lot of tears, but there was just so many proud moments, and so brought us so much happiness at the same time. Like, it's all been built to Australian standards, pretty much.
We can joke about those small things that went wrong, but that you don't need to joke about the quality that they have produced. I mean, it was all a
learning experience for everyone.
and a means and a way. I mean, you know, they hadn't done it before. Of course, when they're doing it for the first time, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be problems. You're going to be rebuilding. But we took that on when we decided to embark on this endeavour to train local people in modern construction. I mean, realistically, if we did build traditionally with timber and bamboo in a rustic way, we wouldn't have had half of the issues. But we chose to do that, and they've gained and we've gained just as much from each other.
We're here, we started work at 6 a.m. And we would finish up at 10 p.m. every night.
Well, I did, you didn't.
I kept going.
Jess would go to 1, 2, 3 a.m. every day. And then, we would just cycle through. I'd start the construction again in the morning, and then, Jess just powered through the whole time. Pre-Lakey. Pre-baby. So we were able to focus our time more on different things, yes. And I think one of the most humbling moments for us, or for me and us, was when Jess got pregnant with Lakey, and we had to go back to Australia for a year. Now, we completely left this hotel and it continued to run. And so the local people that we originally trained and built the trust with, they, from the finances, to the inventory, dealing with all of the money, to the maintenance, engineering, hosting, kitchen, restaurant, like everything involved within a hotel, they continued on with. Now, I don't know if there's many places where you could have freshly trained group of people, the owner leaves for a year and you come back and the hotel is as good, if not better, than it's ever been. So, like, we're so lucky with them.
And the locals are very proud.
So Jess and I embarked on this journey almost 7 years ago, and we still almost call ourselves pioneers to this island. Pioneers in terms of hotels, but obviously Claude from Nihi, he's the original person out here. I mean, he was here in 1996, correct me if I'm wrong, Claude, and he was the original pioneer. Now, for us to come in almost 30 years later and still call ourselves pioneers, that's showing this island is as traditional as it should be. And untouched. So even people coming in now, our guests, friends, that they still feel as fresh and traditional as they ever had. I can only imagine what Claude went through 30 years ago. But it's not changing very quickly. And that's a good thing for us. I mean, it would be great for Sumba to develop more so in a very sustainable way, and that's only for the people, to create education and create jobs. And I guess what we've gained out of this, that it is possible. Anyone can do it, but you have to be passionate, and you have to be unique. You have to want it. As we mentioned earlier, I very much encourage people to get out of Alamayah. I mean, it's an oasis to come back to, but I really encourage people to get outside, because that's the reason we've come to Sumba, and that's the reason why you would come here over Bali or other areas. So there's lots to do. I mean, if we've been here for almost 7 years and there's still more places to explore, and we still enjoy those moments exploring together. So we have amazing surf. There's a beautiful wave right out the front, and particularly on the south coast of Sumba, this would be the highest concentration of waves within the whole coast. We've got beautiful waterfalls, but most importantly, it's about people coming and exploring Sumba for itself. So for its preserved villages, its preserved cultures, its
religion as well. So it's a very unique religion here in Sumba called Marapu, which it's not even recognised anywhere else in the world. It's purely just from Sumba.
Endemic for Sumba, yeah. Yeah, so it's there's so much to do. So for an adventurous couple or an adventurous family, we'll definitely keep, like, our passion. My passion is to keep people busy. You know, if you want to come and relax by the pool, then of course. But if you want to get out and adventure, we'll definitely make that happen as well. I think anyone that has come, as I mentioned earlier, anyone that's come to do it, we all have the same mindset. Keep environment in front of it. Keep social sustainability, keep
environmental sustainability,
sustainable tourism. Like, these are all things that Sumba needs, and you know, we can learn from other mistakes around the world with tourism. This is almost a clean slate where we can create something super special, and by creating it, I don't mean changing it. I mean preserving it. So people to come here and be very sympathetic to the people and be very sympathetic to the culture. But it is possible, and it's inevitable in the future that this is gonna continue, and we can only hope that Sumba stays as special as it already is now. Being partners and her being my fiance, it was, you know, pretty special for her to be an architect and me to be a builder, and both be as passionate.
Yeah.
We were both 100% involved in this, and we were both, you know, so passionate to complete it. I mean, there's probably no other that I know of another girl that could have gone through and lived with how you lived. I mean, with no shower, no toilet, with snakes going through our roof, snakes on our floor, power tools and saws on our floor that you'd trip over during the night, and living off really basic food in this remote island and destination. I mean, there's not many people that could do it, and then from working 18 hours a day as well to do that was pretty incredible.